What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, and I'm here today with another Mazda crossover update. And specifically, we're talking about the Mazda CX-60, the first large architecture, large platform Mazda crossover to hit the market. Unfortunately, it's not hitting this market, but the market overseas. So we're going to jump into some video from a little auto salon over in the Netherlands and check out how beautiful the CX-60 is. And hopefully this will tell us just how beautiful the CX-70 and CX-90 will be. So stay tuned.
More car vids. More car vids.
Before we jump into the CX-60 footage today, I've got some goodies here that I've been waiting on for Mazda. And as you know, I appreciate you. We just hit last month 15,000 subscribers. So thank you. I appreciate your continued support. And I'm going to have a little 15,000 sub giveaway. Got a few things. Got a couple of these sticker packs of the CX-50. So I haven't quite decided how we're going to do this, but just wanted to go ahead and show you these. And we've got these coming. These are pretty cool. And another little sticker pack here. Some of the outdoor stuff that Mazda's been pushing. And here is a dry bag. Mazda dry bag for your outdoor adventures in the CX-50. So stay tuned to the channel. In the next week or so, we'll figure out how we're going to get these things away. And I got several sticker packs, so we'll figure it out. Let's jump into this footage of the CX-60. Here's a look at the vehicle. This is actually the executive line. So we've got the black wheels and some of the other black accents. Very beautiful. And we are going to take a look under the hood in just a minute, but look at that profile. I think this is going to be what the CX-70 and 90 look like. Of course, it's going to be a little bit wider, so excited for that. Here's a look at the rear of those tail lights. Very beautiful. Of course, with a different frame rate here, it's going to be flickering a little bit. Here's a look at that beautiful styling on the front with the turn signal integrated into the signature wing. Of course, the LED lights there. I know they were a little small. I think that on the wider CX-90 and CX-70, those will be wider as well for a more wraparound look. So excited to see the actual final front end of the 90 and 70 when they get closer here. Of course, this one does have your sensors up front and in the rear. Here's our first look at the inside in this one. And this same style vents, the vertical vents on the side like the CX-50. Of course, you have a huge multi-information display, a huge 12.5-inch infotainment screen, and I'm really digging the new shifter there. A smaller shifter with a more comfortable grip. And of course, this ties in well with the wider and shorter commander control knob that we have in the CX-50, Mazda 3, CX-30. And you can see the layout's very similar, but some new controls on the steering wheel. Of course, that's a leather-wrapped design as well. And here's a look at the seating. Leather seating with contrast white stitching. So very nice. Similar CX-50 console door, which I think is going to be, again, more sturdy than the old CX-9 going out. Everything's a little upscale here with these soft touch materials across the dash. Really love the texture there, just brings it out. And love how, and you'll see it here in this footage as well, love how the controls for the climate are kind of stuck out there a little bit like the shelf or what have you on the CX-50. So you've got those two controls, then the display in the middle. Very nice. And you can see this one does have heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats. A lot of upgrades there. Also, you see there by the shifter, the 360 camera view and the downhill assist control. Some of these features we may not see on the 70 and 90. Going up here to show the 12.25-inch screen. And pause it right here to show you, if you'll notice in some of these shots on that infotainment screen, it is 12.5 inches, a lot wider. But there is what looks like a camera lens, and I think this is some of Mazda's new safety that it's talking about, keeping look on your eyes. So if your eyes start to get distracted and your head starts to get distracted, it's some safety features to update you for that. And I think that's where, I think it's actually coming from that infotainment screen, which is wider, positioned just to the right here and probably coming back down on you. I was curious about that, if they would put it in the screen here or up top, but it makes sense to be positioned right in front of your face off that infotainment screen. So I believe that's what that is, and that's pretty cool. And you can also see in this shot the big multi-information display, the color, and this one of course has sport mode. I think it shows when it changes, but as you change those driving modes, it changes color, so pretty neat there. Here's a look here at that sport mode again. Here's a look at the rear seat, and again, this looks like sort of a leatherette, but it could be like a Nappa leather. Just looks like it has the texture like the Nappa leather in the CX-5 and the CX-9 signatures. Stuck with the 40-20-40 on this new crossover. I know a lot of you have been a little bit frustrated that it wasn't on the CX-50, but again, the CX-50 was kind of a bigger version of the CX-30. This is kind of holding true to the Japanese domestic-made CX-5, and so the 40-20-40 split do still have the levers in the back as well to let those seats down. And here's a look at the liftgate going down. Also something different on this model versus the CX-50 is you saw as it was coming down, it had the privacy cargo cover attached to the back there, just like the CX-5. So again, not that way on the CX-50. So something, again, common with the CX-5, CX-60, and probably right along to the 70 and 90. Now here's an interesting look here. I wanted to show you a picture drop in here of that full engine cover laid down, but this one they've actually opened it up, and so you can see here that as this 4-cylinder 2.5 liter is positioned, there's a lot of room for those 2 extra cylinders for the inline 6. So the engine bay is considerably larger than the CX-5 and has room for that inline 6 turbocharged engine. We don't get much of a view here, but you can see some of the wiring feeding back and some of the high voltage back there on the passenger side over the top. Really don't get to see much of the motors or anything here. Here's another look at the rear of this vehicle with those parking sensors, a little bit of cladding, but most of it's going to be painted, as you can see here as we look towards the rear. A black tip there, which, you know, from earlier reports, those are faux quad tips, but, you know, does look pretty good. There's a look at the wheels here, blacked out wheels with Bridgestone tires, and another look at the rear as we kind of finish up on this video here. Just a beautiful vehicle, and excited to get more information about the CX-70 and CX-90. I will have a video out later this week on what we know so far. 90 first, then 70. 60 is really going to be first, and you can see this was just somewhere kind of bringing attention to it, a little media event or what have you in the Netherlands, and excited to get closer to the 90 and then the 70 and 2.5 plug-in. You noticed, and I didn't mention it, but you do have a plug-in on one side and fuel on the other, so very symmetrical. Open up those fuel or power doors, whatever you would call those, not a gas door on the other side there. Instead of having that plug-in up front like most other manufacturers, it's very aesthetic and very pleasing symmetrically on both sides there. If you have any questions or comments on the CX-60 or the upcoming CX-70 and 90, drop them down below in the comments. I am Jonathan Sewell, sales at Mitchell Mazda. Excited about the future of Mazda, especially the next year and a half, as new crossovers are going to be coming out, and then we can get back into perhaps RX Vision, Vision Coupe, maybe some more information about a rear-wheel drive first sedan. Who knows? But I'll be here on the Boulevard listening for all the latest Mazda news and Mazda crossover news, and I'll see you on the next one.